So let's say you've got a drop cord and you plug stuff into the end of it, and you're constantly losing power and then it's coming back on. The electrodes in the end of your extension cord or drop cord are either worn out or the end of your plugs just getting misshapen or been abused over the years, and we're going to go ahead and replace the end of an extension cord. It won't take very long. It's not very hard. The end of my cord has been replaced before. So if you have a new cord with a molded on end, you're just going to want to cut off the end, make sure it's completely unplugged from the power outlet first. But cut off the old end, strip back enough insulation from your 3 wires inside of the drop cord to where you can have them going into your new outlet end. And basically from there, this video will apply to you, because I'm putting a new commercial end that's rated for 20 amps on my cord, and I picked it up at Home Depot for about $20 after tax, because that's the problem I was having. I have this extension cord ran in my garage for my 30-gallon air compressor, and it got to the point to where the air compressor would be running and the vibration would loosen the cord. And if you got a lot of play, if you plug something into your extension cord and it's real loose or it slips out easy, your electrode, your ends are worn out, and it's just easy to replace it. You don't need to go buy a brand new drop cord or extension cord. You can make sure there's no power going to it, and you can work on it. And I'm going to show you how. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take the old end off of my cord, and then inspect the wiring, and then install the new end. It's going to be a short video. Hopefully it helps some people out. So let's get going. So this one has 3 screws in the end of it, and I've already unplugged this from the wall outlet. So it has 0 power to it. And don't just assume it's unplugged. Make sure. You do not want to electrocute yourself. Yes, it's only 110 volts and it will give you a zap, but if you're grounded out real well, like 110 can still kill you. So this is what the inside of my cord looks like. Those are the electrodes where when you plug something into it, this is the contact points, and they're pretty loose, which is why I have bad contacts, and one of them's even bent up right here. That is supposed to look like this one. Clearly it's bent down. I could bend it back up, straighten these out, and reuse this end, but at this point you can see how loose some of these are. It's time to replace it. So, and this is a heavy duty extension cord. This is not a $10 or $20 extension cord that would be cheaper to replace. So then we've got a clamp on the insulated part of the wire. We're going to go ahead and undo the screws for that clamp. And if you have a replacement plug on your extension cord already, it's going to be very similar to this. And it looks like this one is going to be stubborn. So that screw head is stripped out. I'm throwing this away anyway, so we're just going to go ahead and break it. Okay, there's the clamp. Normally it would clamp on like this. It's a 2-piece clamp going into the body of the extension cord. So that's gone. Now we can slide back the collar, and you've got your black wire, which is your hot wire, your white wire, which is your neutral, and your green wire, which is your ground. And so you can see the orientation here. It'd be like this. This is your ground. It's always your ground. And then these two are going to be your hot and your neutral wires. So the big end, the big rectangle, is your common wire, your white wire. The smaller one is going to be your hot wire, your power wire. These wires are in pretty good shape. They're not brittle. Just going to make sure they're straight and there's no stragglers sticking out that can make contact and short this cable out after I put the new end on. So this is what you're going to have after you've cut off your new end. Depending on what plug you buy, you might need your outer insulation to be stripped back farther. But I think we should be fine for the end that I bought. Which again, depending on the size of your wire and what you're using it for, it's going to depend on the amperage that you buy for your outlet. So, like I said, this one is a 20 amp. So we're going to undo the back clamp here for the insulation, slide it on. There's that. Take off our old one since I forgot to do that. Then we're going to thread this one in without jacking up our copper wire. Just like so. That looks like the length's going to be fine. For this one, it has these little clamps. So instead of putting your wire in and screwing down screws to hold it in place, you're going to loosen the clamp. Let's see if I can get a good shot. You're going to loosen the clamp. See it open there for the white one? Stick your wire in, and then you're going to close the clamp all the way. So go ahead and do that. And I mean, the newer plugs are color coded, so you shouldn't have a hard time. I would almost prefer the old style better, because I know that when I tighten down that screw, I'm going to have really good tight connection. White to white, black to black, green to green. And this can seem intimidating, which is why I'm making this video, to show you that it's not. It's simple. And if you can watch this, or if you watch this video and you think that it's within your skill set, hopefully it'll save you some money and time. So we've got our wires clamped down inside of this new outlet. So our white wire, again, is for the big rectangle in this case, as a side slot. Our hot wire is for our smaller smaller rectangle, and our ground is for your tubular. All right, so we're ready to slide our end cap onto our outlet end. And there's 2 screw holes in this one in particular. Let's see if I can get the other one on there. There it is. But you also have a notch, which is right there. There's the notch. So, there it is. On the side of this plug, this female plug, there's a notch. So if we line up those 2 notches, that will line up our screw holes, like so. Yep, and that's them. And then I always give it a couple reverse turns before I start screwing in, just to make sure I'm not cross-threading. And that goes with nuts for bolts and machine screws together, both of those. Because if you cross-thread a screw, in this case, it's in plastic and there's no fixing it. And you don't want to throw $20 down the drain. So, then we've got 2 slots on our back clamp here to line it up for the screws also. So they've made this very user-friendly. Both ends have 2 alignment notches. So we're going to put it on there. And then you don't want to crank one all the way down, because you're going to cockeye the way it's supposed to be connected. And you're either going to break something or strip something. Either way, something bad is going to come from it. So you want to go back and forth as evenly as you can and tighten her down. And what that's going to do is that back clamp clamps onto the outer insulation and the inner wires. It puts pressure on all that. So now our cord is very secure inside of our new outlet, and it will be nice and tight inside of for our male adapter, which is what we were aiming for, because nobody wants to be working on something and have to mess with the drop cord or extension cord 5 times just to get your project done. So that's it. That's how you change the end on your extension or drop cord. Hopefully this helped you out. Have a great day.